but I'm going to waive it. I'm actually going to give you this system for free. When you get on board with me here in a couple of minutes, I'm going to give you the iFlip system for free. Why would I do that? Because I want you to do more deals. See, the ultimate end game here is I want to fund your deals. The more deals you have going, the more of my funding you need. Does that make sense? In fact, you'll begin to see why I'm putting so much stuff in your hands and making this so easy for you to do, because I've had years to develop it, years to learn what you need and how to make it easy for you, but I want to fund your deals. And the more deals you have to do, the more of my funding you need. So you've got me sort of in a very interesting position. You know, I have an unusually vested interest in your success because I want to fund your deals. That's where I make my money. Without iFlip, let's face it, you're going to work hard. With it, you work smart and you make more money. That's what it's all about. All right, so let's talk a little bit more about buyers. Remember, I said I had a two-pronged approach. Here's the other prong. What are the best type of buyers out there? Simple. Cash buyers. Cash buyers are the best, and as investors, we need them. Why are they so great? Well, because they don't use banks. That's a good thing because banks don't want to lend anyway right now. They don't use hard money. They don't hit you with a bunch of PETA-type hassles. There's no hassles. They're easy to deal with. They close quickly, and they buy again and again. Cash buyers are the best type of buyer without question. The big challenge is, how do you find them? Where are they? Well, it's a matter of public record. When someone buys a house and there's no mortgage or deed of trust recorded, well, then that was a cash transaction. Seems simple, right? Well, I mean, you could go to your courthouse and try to research that, but if you live in a little Mayberry kind of town like I do where everything's on paper, your day is going to look a bit like that poor lady there in that picture. Nightmare. And then as soon as you're done, you got to start looking again because cash buyers, that information begins aging the minute you put your hands on it, so you want a constant flow of the most recent cash buyers and have that coming in all the time. To do that yourself would be like a full-time job. You could literally pay somebody a full-time salary to do that for you. If you happen to live in a town where it's computerized, it's still a total nightmare. And you definitely have to pay someone else to do it because if you did it, you'd tear your hair out. Well, not anymore. It took me a few years to crack the code on this, but I've created what's called CAM's Cash Buyer Data Feed. This is huge. You get new cash buyers, their contact information, and the subject property, the property they bought, the info about that as well, all across the USA, fed directly into your iFlip account every month without doing any work. It's done for you. You get brand new buyers. They're deduped, so you don't get the same buyer again unless they bought another property, and that is very useful to know. The buyers out there that are buying multiple properties, you definitely want to know about. Most cash buyers are investors in today's world. Some are buying principal, their home, but very few. Most are investors, and they buy multiple properties from you. And because you're getting information about the property that they bought, where it's located, you can sort by zip code, and you'll know where the cash buyers are buying. That is like having a crystal ball. You'll know where the cash buyers are buying, what neighborhoods, what part of town. Can you imagine how the position that puts you in when you know that? Well, if you know they're buying over on that side of town, where are you going to be buying houses so you can sell them to them? Over on that side of town. Guys, that's like having a crystal ball. This is amazing. I am so excited about this. It's brand new. I literally just figured out how to provide you with this information. It's extraordinarily expensive to me, and it was a big challenge to do, but I got it, and now it's at your fingertips. You'll have all the cash buyers you can possibly want right there at your fingertips. Take a look at this. This is just a sample now of some of the states that I put this little spreadsheet together. So if you don't see your state there, don't get freaked out. I just put a few here. But this is cash buyers in the states that are noted in the last 30 days. Look at them all. Can you imagine having that information at your fingertips? You get access to unlimited cash buyers all across the USA, and you get all of them, not just those in your area. So here's a biggie. Let's say you're sitting at your desk in Northbrook, Illinois, and you want to be doing deals in Austin, Texas, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and Parsippany, New Jersey. Well, you now can literally sit at your computer and look at, access, communicate with the cash buyers in those specific markets, even if you live somewhere else. You have access to all the cash buyer data that we have all across the USA. Is that huge? Oh my gosh. Can you imagine now what that means? You can be doing deals in your backyard, certainly you should be, but you can be doing them anywhere in the country too, anywhere else. This is huge. Now, there is normally a $997 setup fee for this. Not for you because of your relationship with Todd and realestateacademy.net. I'm going to go ahead and waive this as well. When you get on board with me, I'm going to give you this for free. Now, what I didn't mention, I'll mention now as it pertains to both. There is a monthly fee that kicks in, but I'm going to go ahead and waive that for 3 months. So on iFlip, there's a monthly fee of $49.99. The first 3 months you get for free. You test drive it. There's no commitment on your part. If you want out, you're out. If you stay in, you're in. My guess is you'll stay in because of how incredibly powerful the iFlip system is. In fact, I only told you about half of it. And the same thing's true here. There's a monthly fee for this. You wouldn't believe how much this data cost me, by the way. And so I'm going to waive it here for 3 months as well, so you get all the cash buyer info you want for the next 3 months. You pay nothing for that. And then after those 3 months, you stay or you go. If you stay, it's $49.95 per month. They're separate. iFlip and the cash buyer data feed are separate. If you want to stay in one and opt out of the other, no problem. If you stay in both, you stay in both. No problem. We make it simple. And what you're getting for that monthly fee is, obviously access to the data and the system. In the case of iFlip, it's the hosting for your websites. You get tech support. And by the way, let me tell you how our tech support works in here. We do not, I want to make sure I'm clear on this, we do not use a support ticket system where you enter your question or your concern into a little text box and you hit submit knowing full well it's going into a black hole and that you're unlikely to ever hear anything from anybody. And I know you know what I'm talking about. I hate that. In fact, I was just thinking as I'm saying that, I submitted a question on something recently and got no response, and that just bothers me. It's like, really? I'm paying money, and that's the best I can expect? That stinks. We don't do that. I'm not old, but I'm old school. Here's how our tech support works in here. If you have a question, pick up the phone and call us or send us an email. And you might be pleasantly stunned by the fact that we actually respond, and on a very timely basis. The bottom line is we want you to be using these systems, and so we're going to make that easy and pleasant. And if you have a question, gosh darn it, you deserve an answer. The golden rule applies. That's how I run my business. That's how I roll. I treat you like I would like to be treated. That's how I roll. And I'm here to tell you, I got an office building full, I'm standing in it now, full of people who are paid well to take good care of our customers. And I'd like you to be one of them and to experience something that you may have never experienced before, especially in this real estate world. All right, so think for a minute about how this two-pronged approach to building your buyers list will make it simple to sell. You've got access now to web buyers and known cash buyers. You are on top of the world. Your competition is a flat bug on the bottom of your shoe. Smush them is what I'm talking about. Okay, now there's proof of funds. This is a key. We mentioned it earlier. I want to get detailed now. When you're dealing with bank-owned properties, or frankly, when you're dealing with any kind of institutional seller, that could be a bank, HUD, VA, it doesn't matter. You've got to have proof of funds. They won't even entertain your offer for any amount of money unless you can show them the money. And then that proof of funds had better be verifiable. And we'll talk more about that. If you don't have proof of funds, you simply are not in the game. You don't get to play. You're on the bench. And here's the good news. When you get on board with me, you've got proof of funds at your fingertips 24/7, 365, and your competition doesn't. Yes! That's what we're talking about right there. Here's how it works. When you get on board with my program here in another couple of minutes, you're going to get immediate access. We're going to send you to what we call our dashboard, where you set up your account, and you have immediate access to everything right then and there. In particular, with proof of funds, you fill in a couple of blanks that are specific to the property. You hit submit. The system returns a PDF file to you that you can save to your hard drive. You can print. You can forward by email. And it doesn't matter if my office is open or closed, what day of the week it is, what time of the day it is. If it's a holiday, it doesn't matter. You have access 24/7. So if you've ever laid awake at night tossing and turning thinking about a real estate deal that you've got, going on, that you can lose some sleep. I've been there. Here's the perfect solution to that. Get up, turn on your computer, print out the proof of funds letter, smell that wet ink on there, and it'll put you to sleep like a sleeping pill. You'll sleep like a baby. It's the perfect cure for insomnia. Now, your competition does not have access to this, and that's, once again, you're head and shoulders above them. You get unlimited deal-specific proof of funds letters, a new letter for every offer you make, and they're all backed by me. Here's what that means. Let's face it, you can go online and get yourself a free proof of funds letter. If you search around, I'm sure you can find one. But the problem is whoever's name is on it better be willing to take a call or answer an email, or worse, show a bank statement to back up that proof of funds letter in case the seller or seller's agent asks. I do that. In fact, on my proof of funds letters is my personal contact information so that your agent or the seller has easy access to me. And when they come to me, they may ask, hey, is Linda in good standing with your organization? I respond. Or they may say, we need to see a bank statement to back up this proof of funds letter. I send it to them. I send them a copy of my personal bank statement. And I've got an account where I have a pile of cash that I use for this purpose. Now, why would I do that? And by the way, I do cross out the account numbers. But why would I send a complete stranger a copy of my Morgan Stanley bank statement? Because I want you to get the deal. Because when you do get the deal, you're likely to need my funding. And I want to fund your deals. Does that make sense? So proof of funds, if it isn't backed up, isn't worth the paper pulp it's printed on. You've got me. I've got your back. How's it feel? When you can leverage my bank account and my credibility, that puts you in a whole nother category. How's it feel? All right, you can begin using this immediately, literally a couple minutes from now, and I'll explain that in just a second, okay? Submit it with every offer you make, and you'll look like and be treated like a pro. Don't wait for the seller or agent to ask you for proof of funds. Send it with your offer. Think of the credibility this will give you. And you can make all the offers you want. There's absolutely no limit on the number of proof of funds letters, and there is no charge for them. That's part of the program. That is, because it's so important, it's just the way it works. And here's the bottom line. High volume activity equals high volume income. The more offers you make, the more paychecks you cash. And when there's no limit on the number of proof of funds letters you can produce, and that I will back up for you, there's no limit on the number of deals you can do. That's what I'm talking about. Without proof of funds, you're on the bench. With it, you make more money. Bottom line. All right, here's some frequently asked questions on proof of funds. I'll knock these out now, and then we'll, like I said before, we're going to take your questions at the end. What if my credit's bad? Will the proof of funds still work for me? Sure it will. You know why? Because your offer is not contingent on your ability to go and get a new mortgage, so the seller doesn't care about your credit. Do I need to have a buyer before I can make an offer? No, you don't. But it is sure nice to have a big buyer's list, and that's what iFlip and the Cash Buyer Data Feed are all about. Who backs the proof of funds letters? Well, that would be me. I've got your back.